Welcome everyone to the Open Day Business Panel. I'm Cody, and we're going to run through some frequently asked questions about studying business. We'll give you an idea on your study options that are available to you, and also talk about what a career in this field might look like once you graduate. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge we are on the lands of the Bundjalung Nation and pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. Today I'm joined by student Sophie and lecturer Dr. Simon Wild. Hi everyone. Can I please ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you here today?
Hi everyone, my name's Sophie. I'm a third year Bachelor of Business in Convention and Event Management student, and I work as a student ambassador at the university, and I also currently work in the corporate events team here.
And as Katie said, my name is Simon. I'm one of the business lecturers with the Faculty of Business, Law and Arts. I'm also the course coordinator for the Bachelor of Business and Enterprise. And basically what that means as part of my role is just to make sure everything is running smoothly within the degree. And obviously I'm joined with a number of colleagues who teach our individual units. You might think they're subjects, we call them units. So I make sure that everything's sort of working along as it should be. That's part of my role.
Yeah, and I'm actually a past business student myself from Southern Cross, and Simon actually taught me throughout my business degree, so it's nice to see you professionally here today. Simon, with the brand new Bachelor of Business Enterprise degree, what does that sort of look like? I understand it has a lot of flexible options and so many different options in terms of majors you can choose from. Can you tell us a bit more what they entail and the different types of courses you can do?
It does. So last year we launched a new business degree, a Bachelor of Business and Enterprise. And part of the reason why we chose to launch a new degree is to start to address some of these core issues, particularly in the business field, that things are very competitive. To show my age, I did my business degree back in the late 90s. There wasn't a thing called the internet. If I wanted to read about something, I went to a place called the library. So things have changed and the world has become extremely complex from a business perspective to the point where borders no longer matter. Even the smallest sole trader can be a multinational with customers overseas. So we started to look at the core challenges of the business discipline to develop our degree. So within our particular business degree, students will undertake a number of what we call core units, and they're compulsory units, and that starts to set the foundation. So we'll start to talk about things like setting up a business, but also a number of units to help you get ready for academic study. Having undertaken those core units, you're then given the opportunity to specialise, to become an expert in an area. So we have what we call specialisation. We have two specialisations, one in accounting, one in financial services. We also have majors, which again, just another fancy name for specialisation, in areas such as tourism management, aviation management, entrepreneurship and innovation, and we also have a major in business and data analytics. So students are given the option to choose one of those majors, and as part of their degree they may look to do another major to build a certain type of expertise. So you get your core foundation in terms of business skills, and then you start to build your expertise in some of these specialisations or majors that we offer.
Now, Sophie, I want to learn more about your course, but just before that, I'd actually like to learn more about our shared major option. One thing about business degrees and creative arts degrees and everything, they're in every single industry behind the scenes. Can you tell us about those shared majors? I know we obviously listed the ones within the business course, but I know our business degrees go much further than that as well.
We find it very important here at Southern Cross to give students as much flexibility as possible. So what we do offer as part of our degree, so for example, if we're talking business, you'll do your core units, and then you might be interested in business and data analytics. As you start to work through your degree, perhaps you might start to get a bit of a feel for working in digital media as one example. So we offer another major through a different faculty that actually can start to, again, build that expertise. So we've got shared majors right across the university in a whole range of different discipline areas. So if there's something very specific that you're interested in, that perhaps the Faculty of Business, Law and Arts don't offer, one of the other faculties might offer that particular area of expertise. So there's a lot of flexibility. So don't think that you're on a certain path and there's no movement. That as you sort of work through your degree, you might pique an interest in agricultural economics or something. We have some of those sort of subjects that you can do as well. So there's lots of flexibility that as you sort of become more attuned to the discipline and your interests start to peak as you're here, there's ways and means that we can move to build that expertise.
Yeah, and I can really vouch for that flexibility. For me, in my first year of business, I knew I wanted to do business because I couldn't see myself doing one type of job my whole life, and I was a bit scared of signing myself up to a certain course that entailed, I guess, a certain career outcome, and I wanted that flexibility. But I changed my major 3 times in my first year, until I finally got to the end of my first year, worked with the careers team and those services, and decided, yep, all right, I know exactly what I want to do now, and I went down the marketing route because I really enjoyed being on the front face of the business. Now, Soph, can you tell us about what you studied? You're a major in events, and pretty much why did you go down that pathway? What was so attractive about that sort of, I guess, that career outcome?
Yeah, so I was pretty lucky. I actually knew what I wanted to do around year 10 of high school. So I did a lot of business subjects during high school, and it was just something that really piqued my interest. Like, I loved learning about how to lead a team and working with people. And so I kind of weaved that into events management because I loved organising things. I'm a very structured person and I'm very detailed, and I loved being able to organise things for other people. And the biggest part was going and organising something and then seeing it come to life is like the biggest accomplishment. That's something that really motivates me. So that's why I chose events management. In business, as you were saying before, Cody, business can take you all sorts of different routes. So even though I specialise in events management, I've been able to do a lot of different subjects such as managing organisations, how to lead a team. I've learned how to do e-commerce, so website design, marketing, and also entrepreneurship too. So my business degree has given me lots of different insights into a lot of different careers, but events management has been awesome. I really love it.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it sounds like you've kind of found your pathway from the very beginning. You knew what you wanted, but I guess throughout those subject experiences, it's really cemented where you wanted to go, which is, I think, the most important thing as well. And I think the other part, besides obviously learning all your theoretical knowledge, is hands-on learning skills, such as practical work experience or internships or some sort of volunteering, any of those things that really bolster up your resume, but also help you understand what your job's going to look like. In the Bachelor of Business Enterprise, is there internship opportunities or anything, Simon?
There is. As I said, the business environment now is very different to when I went through university. Back in the 90s, having a degree was enough in terms of employment. But things are getting extremely competitive in that space. So employers are not only looking for the theoretical skills, but also practical skills as well. So as part of your Bachelor of Business and Enterprise, students are required to undertake an internship with a real life firm. Many of those internships are paid internships, others are unpaid. However, if a student is receiving some type of government assistance, even though they're not physically coming to campus, they're out in a workplace, they're still enrolled with the university. So they're still paid that government assistance. And to have that, have the theoretical knowledge, but also to show that I have a couple of months' experience at the coalface with a real world organisation. We have seen in the past that 98% of our internship organisations indicate to us that they're willing to at least consider offering full-time continuing employment to our interns, as they've had a bit of a look to see what they're worth and what they're made of. So that's really critically important in today's world because it is very competitive in respect to employment across a whole range of different business industries. So we very much implore students to really look forward and start to plan ahead for their internship, which typically happens towards the end of their degree.
I think my favourite part of internships and experiences, and I did an internship myself, is that if you do a 250-hour internship, it counts as 2 subject credits. Now, I was definitely someone who's more of a practical learner. Me being in the workplace and getting credited towards my degree was much better than me sitting in a classroom. So I got a lot out of my experience. What about you, Sophie? Have you had the chance to take up an internship yet? And just before that, how did the university get you prepared to go out into the workforce? Because you are representing your university. How did you go about it? What skills did the university give you before you entered the workforce?
So in my business degree, we have a unit called Professional Development for the Workplace. So I took that unit in my second year. And so they basically taught us about career goals and objectives and helping us sort of figure out what we wanted out of an internship because it prepares you before you choose your internship. So with the university, they actually can give you a list of internships available locally, which we were able to have a look at in terms of like what you want to specialise in with your major. So obviously I had a couple of events management internships I could look at, but you can also seek out your own. So as a student ambassador, I was able to undertake undertake an internship under that role. And so I actually was able to help coordinate every single ambassador to go to expos and careers expos and some presentations and go to different schools around Queensland, which was pretty awesome. So I got to have that organisational aspect within my internship. So I did 450 hours. So that got me some credit towards my degree, which was awesome, and a lot of good practical experience. And then that actually led me to get a role within the corporate events team, which I'm working now, and I absolutely love it. So I guess that's the best part of the business degree. That's actually why I chose a degree here at Southern Cross, because it's one thing learning theory in the classroom, it's another to actually be able to apply that theory in real life and be able to give yourself that experience to put on your resume, so then it prepares you for when you go out into the real world.
Yeah, those personalized relationships here really make a difference, especially the small class sizes, and knowing your academics by name and being able to create those extra opportunities or be game to ask for those opportunities because you know people quite personally. It does make a massive difference. I think a secret question everyone wanting to ask though, did you get paid or unpaid when it came to your internship experience?
So I was lucky I was paid. It really just depends where you go. Most are unpaid because it's more of the work experience aspect. However, like we were saying before, it's able to give you that pathway into going on to a full-time role with that organisation if you do go into that internship. So it really just depends, but I was quite lucky I did get paid.
Like Cody, I'll give you another example. This just shows you where internships can take you. And this particular example started off as a lump of coal and ended up turning into a diamond for this particular student. His name was Damien, and he secured a voluntary internship, unpaid internship with one of Australia's leading golfing properties to learn about marketing, to essentially become the marketing assistant. And the day he started, the marketing manager quit. And he thought, oh my goodness, there's my internship gone. And he met with the general manager that day, and the general manager said, look, we're not going to make you the marketing manager, but how about you work with me over your internship, and I'll show you the ropes as we start to work through. And Damien was there for a few months, and on his last day, the general manager of the resort said, we want to make you our marketing manager. And he was the marketing manager for the next 6 or 7 years. So that's the kind of opportunities that internships can really bring. That, of course, it's wonderful to be paid, but just to actually get some experience with like leading organisations. We're not just talking about the local cafe or something. We're talking about Queensland tourism and some of the largest resorts on the coast. And we've had students work for some of the largest organisations in Australia from an internship perspective. So to actually get that opportunity, which a lot of individuals don't have. So when those opportunities take up, if it's voluntary and it fits, grab it with both hands.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think the paid is the goal outcome at all, because the whole point is for you to be mentored and taught in a practical work setting. To you may gain employment from your internship. I know for me, I did my unpaid internship, and the end of mine, I gained employment, and I worked with that company for 3 years. Yeah. However, some others may have the opportunity to have an industry experience, and they work out, maybe I don't want to go down this sort of work setting. I do like the type of job I'm doing, but maybe I don't want to work in the property sector. I want to move into this sort of industry instead. And I think that's a great thing about the hands-on learning aspect, is having a try before you buy sort of scenario. Now we've learned about, I guess, the business degrees and the experiences you can have, but what happens afterwards? What are some of your graduates doing, Simon? And for you, Soph, what do you want to do after? But I'd love to know what some other students are doing first.
Probably one of our better known graduates in terms of his accomplishment as an individual by the name of Steve Late. And Steve did his business degree with us about 15 years ago. Steve ended up doing an internship. He decided to go to America and did his internship with a large fast food retail company. Fast forward 12 years, Steve became the CEO of Applebee's. I don't know if you've heard of Applebee's, 2,000 stores with a turnover of $5 billion. And that was a student who did a business degree at Southern Cross University. Steve was based at our Lismore campus at the time. So we have students from a whole variety of different disciplines. I was talking to one of our graduates from probably about 10 years ago, Jimmy. Jimmy is based in the UK. He's actually back here for a couple of weeks on holiday, so I'm going to interview him for one of our digital marketing units. Jimmy used to be the head of global search for Volkswagen. So again, for a student based at the Lismore campus or the Gold Coast, it is quite amazing where opportunities will take you. And I think it's important too, and sort of Sophie touched on it as well, that a lot of students perhaps might come into university thinking that they're on a particular path. in terms of their interest. And as Cody said, he changed his sort of interest and focus 3 times. The reality is, and the industry statistics show that you'll have 7 different careers in your lifetime. I don't mean 7 different jobs, I mean 7 different careers. I think I'm up to about number 5. Started in retail, fresh produce, Coles supermarket. Did some marketing, ended up running some major large sporting events around Australia, did work with the NRL, AFL, did stuff with the Wallabies. 4th was working for myself, and then ended up here at Southern Cross helping students with their internships. And then someone said, would you like to do a PhD? And I said, are you crazy? And they said, we'll pay you. And I said, sign me up. So I've been here since 2011 full time. So I'm up to, I think, career number 5. Things will move and things will shift. But I think from my perspective, a business degree gives you the flexibility to not only become an academic or work in events or work previously in retail in different areas. There's lots of flexibility, particularly here and overseas as well. A lot of our graduates like to travel overseas. I've had the privilege of working in China, Italy, Hong Kong, Singapore. So really the world is your oyster, and I can't speak more highly about getting a business degree to sort of set yourself up for a lifetime of fun, hopefully.
And Soph, where do you want to go next?
Oh, I get asked this question a lot now. I'm in my last year. I guess for me, there's so much room to grow, especially with the experience that my degree's given me and what I've learnt. I think working within corporate events at the moment, I really enjoy it. I love the systems and the processes behind it and being able to organise something and see it come to life. So I definitely think I want to stay in that field for now. But I guess in the future, I'd love to be able to be, events manager, be able to oversee so many different events. There's not really any one type of event I want to do because you can go into so many. There's festivals, there's also the Olympics as well, which we're hosting in the future. So many events jobs for that. So I guess my main goal is just making sure I work my way to the top and also be able to lead a team in the future and just be able to be the best person professionally that I can be.
I can completely agree about the flexibility of business degrees. I'm only 28 years old and I've spent 5 years in the high-end fashion industry based here and in India. It was quite a diverse background. And then I moved into 2 years of property development. And now I've been in education now for about 3 years. And behind the scenes, every job that I was doing was quite relatable. The soft skills of stakeholder management, communication, how to delegate tasks effectively. All those tasks, all those skill sets were all the skills I got out of my business degree, but also out of studying at university and balancing my university degree and my part-time job and the home domestics and all the other commitments you have in your life and how it all works really channel in to being very relative to a business course itself. So if you don't know exactly what you want to do just yet within the business field, that is completely okay. The great thing about business skills is that you will tie them to any sort of industry that you ever want to in the future. Now, I have one last question before I want to throw out to the audience is, what sort of advice would you give to any student who is starting out in the business field? For both you guys.
I guess I always say to a lot of people, do what you enjoy, play to your strengths. Don't be afraid to ask questions, especially with university. You make so many different connections and you meet so many different people. Do what you enjoy, do what you love. And you know what, like Cody was saying, you're not always going to be stuck in that same place. Like if you try it out, because you'll never know until you try. So the best thing is if that's what you enjoy and you do want to try business, try it and see how you go. And you can always go into any type of job or, career out of that. So just do what you enjoy, really.
And look, from my perspective, it is a big cultural shock at times, particularly for students coming from high school, coming into a university setting. It is very different. There's no hand-holding. We treat students as independent learners. It's very much on the student to jump in both feet and to work hard. But from my perspective, a little bit like Sophie, I sort of found an interest in business in high school. I did business studies in year 12, so that's where it sort of piqued my sort of interest. But I think for me, just sort of be flexible. Don't be too focused on a particular industry mix or whatever it might be, because we can see with COVID how things change so quickly. And when you're very much sort of focused, almost myopic in your view of the world, that can be quite problematic. So from my perspective, if you're interested in business, if you're interested in an international career, If you're looking for flexibility, as I said, I've gone from retail to marketing to major events to academia. If you're looking for that flexibility, I very much promote a business degree with us, hopefully, as a really good foundation. And as I said, like we've seen many examples of our graduates. Steve Late didn't do a degree in fast food management or something like that. He did a business degree. He did a marketing major. So that flexibility is really important, and a lot of our students benefit from that. So I'd very much implore you to have a think about a business degree.
Thank you for our panelists for sharing insights into studying at Southern Cross. We would like to invite the audience to ask any questions. We've got about 5 minutes left. Is there anything you guys would like to know about pathways or how to excel? Yep.
Yes. Like major events? Well, when I was doing my internship, I was able to organise a lot of ambassadors for the Gold Coast Careers Festival that we had at the Gold Coast Leisure and Sports Centre at Carrara. So I was able to be involved with that, and I was also doing a panel there too. So I was able to both be able to organise behind the scenes and then be involved in it, which is the best part of my job. And also to now working in the corporate events team. I was actually in Coffs Harbour a couple of days ago doing the Open Day. And I'm also helping out Open Day here as well. So those are probably some of the major events that I've done. And I also get to travel to Sydney in the next couple of weeks to do the Sydney graduations for the hotel school that we're partnered with. So those are probably a couple of the major ones that I've done. And also, a couple expos and things along the way. So, yeah.
Do they look tired? They did Coffs Friday, Lismore yesterday, Gold Coast today.
Lots of travel, but it's the most rewarding part because I love it. I love being able to travel and go from one place to the other.
And graduations are busy. It's anywhere from 500 to 1,000 students, and how to navigate them and make sure everyone...
It's busy.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah. Oh, look, it has been really interesting, and you can see that the very agile businesses have been the ones who have been able to pivot through COVID. One classic example is an alcohol manufacturer who makes gin. And if you know anything about hand sanitizer, it's 75% alcohol. So having seen this opportunity, this gin manufacturer started producing hand sanitizer as another revenue stream. And look, it has impacted everyone, even universities. It's impacted us hugely. Yeah, look, it is interesting how you do need to change quickly. From a business faculty perspective, we've been teaching online for about 7 years. But many of the other discipline areas in the university haven't sort of quite evolved to that. And literally within 2 weeks of border shutdowns, because we have hundreds of students stuck overseas, couldn't get back into the country. The university had to shift literally within days from a face-to-face teaching mentality to a pure online teaching process. And that's very different. How you construct your activities and workshops and these type of discussions, it's very different to what we're doing here face-to-face. So it does show businesses that you do need to be agile, that the ones who weren't able to move, they were the ones who suffered badly.
And throughout the last 3 years, like even our faculties of health, who their whole courses are relied to being face-to-face, even they had the opportunities to pivot. And Southern Cross University has been doing online now for, I think 8 to 10 years now, all up between postgrad and everything. And it's something we're really good at when you need it to be. And having that background set of skills, we were even able to pivot our health courses so those students could really succeed in a time where things started really slowing down for a lot of students and the time that they could take to study. So if you are someone who was wishing to study on campus, a great thing about studying at university is it's fantastic when life is pretty easy at home and you can go to campus every single day if that's what you want. But as you get older and you take on extra responsibilities outside your course, it's all about how can I achieve getting this piece of paper while committing to everything else going on in my life. And my favorite thing about the business degree was, even for myself, I was on campus almost every day in my first year. Yep. In my second year, I was in a situation where my employer was supporting me going to university, but I was working full time. So I could only ever make my face-to-face classes on a Monday. So any other classes on a Tuesday or a Thursday, I was actually able to opt to do them online. So I had a balance of being an on-campus student and an online student because my goal was to get get my degree done at the end of 3 years. And that overall, that was my primary focus. We have time for one more question, and then we'll have to close up.
Yeah.
For your internships, can you draw interstate or just mainly in Queensland?
Anywhere and everywhere. So we have a dedicated team to assist students with finding placements. So not only is there the early preparation, that professional development unit to help students get their resume up to speed and cover letters, but we do have a dedicated team that work with students, and quite often we will have employers come to us and offer placements, but then we also put the onus back on students too, that they're interested in an interstate or international placement, that they really need to start sort of pushing that. But our team is there to support those students. And obviously while students are out there, we're talking a voluntary position, they're fully insured, fully covered if there's any issues and those types of things. So we make sure that the students are taken care of.
And we have to call it the end of our business panel today with a very short turnaround time. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any unanswered questions, please don't hesitate to call our Future Students team on 1800-626-481, or you can email us at futurestudents@scu.edu.au. We actually have our client services team member, and I'm sure two of our panelists will be more than happy to meet you just at the front of the lecture theatre to talk about any more of your questions more one-on-one. If you are looking for a way to apply, if you're a Year 12 student, apply through our early entry program. It is fantastic. Alternatively, talk to our team members, and don't forget to apply now. You can even apply to start next year if you like, or at the end of this year. Thank you, everyone.